And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Bryan couldn't wait to talk some football, boy. We in the back just chopping it up here. Bryan, if you want to set us up, and I'll run right into this. You was on Jeff's show?
Yeah. Jeff and I were on Trusted Tape this morning, and we were going through some different players and scenarios and things like that. And somebody on the chat said that you had the Texas edge rusher, Sorrell, as in the second round. And I was like, I don't think that's the case. I think when Voch and I were talking, I thought he had him in the third round with some other guys, this, that. And he goes, the guy in the chat goes, no, I'm looking at his board right now. And then I just asked you, and you're like, you made some adjustments to your board. So I'll let you explain your adjustments to your board.
So let me tell you what happened, Bryan. Two things happened. Two things happened here as far as my edges go. And I've gotten to a point to where, yes, me and you are watching new guys, but I'm double checking my work on my old guys.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I am too.
Just to keep it all fresh there, right? And the big portion of the conversation was Mykel Williams, because Tommy Yards just told us we need to be looking out, and me and Nick Harris had a conversation. So Mykel Williams, and I wanted to go back and rewatch Kennard and Donovan Ez. I think really highly of Donovan Ez, and I think really highly of Kyle Kennard. And let me show you what I ended up doing, bros. I'm just going to put it on the screen so everybody can see. This is my conclusion. These two characters right here, I don't know if you can see it. I can zoom in if you need me to.
Yeah.
Sorrell and Swinson were top of the third guys for me, right?
Okay.
They were high top of the third guys for me.
Right.
But I thought they were very similar to Kennard and Donovan.
Okay. It makes sense.
Grade wise, I thought they was right there for me, right?
Yeah.
So I had them, kind of like this, but my issue was I didn't want to bring Kennard and Donovan down. I wanted to keep those guys as second round guys. So a small bump for Sorrell and would just make them late second round guys, right?
Gotcha.
But this is what I did too. This morning, Bryan, I did this. I watched film on Mykel Williams. I'm refreshing myself. And Bryan, sometimes other people's opinions can infiltrate yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I say, man, if this dude is a possibility at 12, you said it yourself. I need to watch every game that I got.
You got to watch every game you got there.
I need to watch every game that I got. And Bryan, this is what I did this morning. I'm gonna pull this up. This is what I did this morning. I watched Mykel Williams versus Texas twice, Florida last year, Clemson this year, Bama this year, Notre Dame this year, and South Carolina, right? It was probably last year. Bryan, look, man, I'm not high on Mykel Williams at all, dog. I'm not high on Mykel Williams at all. And Bryan, that was my first mind. And you told me I should follow my first mind because that's typically what I'm gonna end up with.
Yeah.
But I let people get into my brain a little bit because people will say, well, I think he's a really good rundown guy and he's athletic and da-da-da. Bryan, I saw Mykel run down the middle of people. I saw Mykel not have a plan. I saw Mykel get stuck on blockers. I saw Mykel not be able to find the ball really well. I saw Mykel on the edge sometimes, and when players hit the edge on him, I didn't really see great athleticism on him hitting the edge like I thought I did. And Bryan, I was right about him this whole time, but I let the outside hype kind of make me think, well, maybe I'm wrong, right? That's natural. So, Bryan, I had Mykel behind Kennard. That's why I drew the line. But, Bryan, I think Barron Sorrell is better than Mykel Williams. I think Braden Swinson is better than Mykel Williams. I think Oladejo is what people think Mykel Williams is. Oladejo from UCLA is a really good run defender, stand-up rusher. They put him in B-gap sometimes, but he can get better at pass rushing. I love his film. His film is better than Mykel Williams, and that's what people saying about Mykel Williams. The SMU kid, and I know exactly what I could do with Jack Sawyer from Ohio State, and that's why I ran out of dudes. I'm not going to move Mykel Williams no more, Bryan Broaddus. I got him in the third, and I moved Swinson and Sorrell up because I would much rather take those dudes at 44 than Mykel. That's where I'm at.
My argument is, though, to me, if you gave me a choice between Mike Green from Marshall and Mykel Williams, I'm going to take Mike Green.
Yep.
Now, it's the same things that I'm going through right now with the whole Barron and Will Johnson thing. You know, there are guys, people ask me, well, who would you do? Who would you do? Who do you think, and I'm like, listen, they're liable to take Will Johnson.
Yep.
I'm okay. I mean, Will Johnson is not a terrible player. Just not. I have Barron better. I have Morrison better. That would disappoint me. They don't give a damn what you and I think.
Right.
You and I are just doing award-winning podcasts right now is what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Right.
I mean, we're just giving our opinions on these players, and they don't care. They don't care. I mean, I run into Will McClay. He does not care. And now I've had other guys, my gang of 7 guys. Well, hey, could you send me your board? I'm interested to see how you got guys. I'm interested to see where not that they're going to try and influence me. Sometimes you get in those rooms and did exactly what you just said. It's speak. You're thinking like, guys, I don't see the player you're talking about.
Right.
And they're like, no. And you're like, okay, fine. You put him where you guys feel comfortable. Just know that I have told you where I would take him. Not a terrible player, but all these things that you guys are talking about, I don't see. And I'm that way with Barron and Johnson. I said, I'm that way with Mykel Williams and guys like Green. Yep. That's where I'm at, and I'm to the point. We're getting to the point where our exercise takes me through 167 players.
Yeah.
So we got a couple more weeks, and we're gonna get this thing to 200. And and I'm gonna put this damn thing to bed. And if I have to go back and look at some people, but I have always worked on the premise of my first evaluation of a player is usually my best one.
Yeah.
Usually every single time. Now there's some guys that'll make you think that we're about to talk about today. There's some guys that you're going to make you think a little bit about, oh, well, where do you have this guy? Where do you have this guy? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, if they draft Mykel Williams, good for them. They as a group believe that. Me personally, I don't have him as the 12th best player. I just don't. I have other guys above him. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. That's not going to be mad, not going to be pissed off, not going to bust their ass, if it happens. I'm just say, hey, this is what I saw in the guy. And if he works out for them, great. That's the best. Good for them. Good for them. If he comes in here and those guys are busts and they don't play to the level of what they thought of him as a player, then, you kind of, you say, okay, but this organization, I'll tell you what, they need to hit on this first round pick.
Sure do.
The last couple of them haven't been very good.
Yeah.
Last couple have not been up to the standards that they've had. So, they need to get that right. You know what? I'm going to say this, Voch. I hope they're right.
I hope so.
I hope they're right. I don't care about, I care about me being right. I really do. I care about me being right. But if it's to the level of that they're right and it helps this organization win and we could cover good football players, please be right all day. Be right all day.
I hope it's noise. I just hope this just lies. I hope we not even thinking about it. But
well, they probably Will McClay. Sure. Will McClay likes corners with some length. They like players with some length to them.
Sure.
And I could see where Johnny Barron is not for everybody. But I don't know how you can watch his tape and see an excellent football player.
He jumps off the film.
I don't know that.
He jumps off the film.
Just off the film. You could bring him in for an interview and he could be a terrible human being. He can not look at you in the eye, and you can put him on the board and he doesn't remember anything about what you're talking about. I don't know any of that. Right. All I know is when I watch that film, that guy is a better player than Will Johnson. Sure. That's all I know. And I don't hate Will Johnson. Sure. I just like Jade Barron. I like Morrison, Barron, Ravel.
Yep.
Those guys better. I just do.
This is all about maximizing your returns on that 12th overall pick. If we're gonna lose games and pick at 12, I want to get the best dude I can, Brian.
Absolutely.
Man, Brian, I got a 4 and 3 5s, man. You know what I'm saying? We still clocking foes, Brian. You know what I'm saying?
We are clocking a 4.
We still clocking foes, man. I got a 4 and 3 5s, Brian. If you had to guess, I think me and you like the same guy in the 4th. But I'll let you take the floor on that, Brian. We're looking at today Kyle Williams, wide receiver from Washington State, Seth McLaughlin, the center from Ohio State, Holland Pierce, the tackle from Rutgers, and Marcus Yarns, the running back from Delaware. Brian, if you had to rank them boys, which one of the guys you think I got in the 4th?
I think you probably see. This is where I'm stuck.
Okay,
because I think there's 2 spots. These are the 2 guys I'm with.
Okay.
I'm stuck between Williams, the wide receiver from Washington State.
Okay.
And I think I'm stuck with McLaughlin, the center from Ohio State, as the second guy.
That's interesting, Brian. That's interesting. Because I can see why you said that. I can see why you say that. You know,
I'm going to tell you who McLaughlin is, by the way.
Tyler Biadasz. We'll talk about it. Brian, I like this.
Terrible. That's terrible radio. If you're listening, I shook my head.
He just shook his head. It's all right.
That's terrible.
They can see you. They can see you. They saw you shake your head.
I hope the people that are watching, I hope they saw me shake my head. The folks that are just listening to the podcast, I shook my head. No.
Brian, I thought you was gonna like this kid from Delaware. This runner, this catcher, this route running back that can block pretty good. I thought I had you with this Yarns kid in the 4th round, man, because you know you love those running backs that do all the things. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I generally do.
I saw that big run against Penn State. I was like, I know Brian gonna love this.
Yeah, that was some damn good blocking up front.
It was wide open. He only got 6 carries, but he made it work.
It was some big time stuff going on there. No, I put him in the 6th round. Is what I did.
You got him wrong.
So he kind of fell into my others board. Is what he would do.
It is interesting how we got these running backs. All right, so I got Yarns is my first guy.
Oh, 4th round?
I got him in the 4th, Brian. I like him.
Oh, look at that.
I like him.
Look at that. All right.
You are correct about the center being my second favorite guy. You are right about that. Then I got my wide receiver, not too far behind him, and I got my slow-footed tackle right there at the end there.
That dude is massive.
He's a huge dude, boy. I want to see him and Ursery just wrestle. Like, not O-line, D-line. I just want to see them wrestle each other. That's a humongous man. I think he does some things better than Ursery though, but
oh no, I don't I'm not disagreeing there. The center, and I know I kind of said that, and okay, well, we'll wait and get to the center.
Okay.
Who do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the runner from Delaware first? Is that what you want to do, or
let's do the runner? Let's do the runner. I saw him versus Rhode Island, Albany, and I saw his 6 carries versus Penn State, Brian.
Yeah,
versus Penn State. And I figured, Brian, because I know you like running backs like this. You like the guys that are a bit patient, and he seems to have a patient run style to him.
Yeah,
the guys that can kind of break open in the open field if they get enough room there. You seem to like those guys. I think he has an interesting amount of wiggle. I wouldn't call him a super wiggly guy, but if it's Oklahoma drill with a DB, I've seen him go and he'll leave a guy. I've seen him do that a couple times. Now, he did it more to the Rhode Island kids than he did the Penn State kids on a 6 carry. So that might mean something, but cool. I thought when they asked him to run routes, he wasn't just running swings. I saw him run down the field a little bit. I saw him run some verticals and wheels and stuff. I thought that was interesting. When they did throw it to him, I thought he caught the ball really well, and when it is blocked up for him pretty good, I think he got a little bit of burst. I wouldn't call him speedy. I wouldn't put him in the Samson category, right? But he can get away from some guys if it's open there. I don't think his blocking is perfect. But compared to
Yeah.
some of the guys that can't block and don't want to block, I think he's a step up from those dudes. I think he has some decent blocking awareness, some good blocking technique, and I think he got a solid body to step up and kind of deal with some blocks. He's just not perfect at it. I think you can fix that with coaching. Now, just like I said, he was patient behind the line of scrimmage, finding his spots and hitting his hole. I do think that sometimes he can get a little stuck behind there, trying to process, trying to process the hole behind the line of scrimmage. But I think that'll get better with just time and getting acclimated to the speed of what's in front of you. I think it could be jarring playing Rhode Island one week and then playing a good team later. I think
playing in Happy Valley and the next week.
I think if he consistently gets consistent speed in front of him, I think he'll get acclimated to, because he can move well. But I just see him as like a one cut kind of guy, and I don't want him to do shimmy and stuff too much, but I think he's fine when he does do it. I got him in the fourth, Brian. I got him I got him way at the bottom of the fourth. So I got him right before my fifth round guy, Devin Neal. You don't like that because you got Devin Neal up there. But I got him right at the end of the fourth.
But it's not like you just read a 6th round guy, Voch. That's amazing.
That's all
how
good.
you're able to kind of do this.
Hey, that's running backs though. You can name a 6th round. You can describe one like that. Go ahead.
I think you got this kid right, and I might even myself have him around low. He's probably a 5th round guy. He is a 3-down player for these guys, and you mentioned the patience, the balance to break tackles, to get the ball on the edge. Where this player does some really good work is that pass catching stuff. You do see various routes with him. He can catch the ball down the field. You see him run routes on the outside. I thought he was more just a straight line runner, and I thought he could carry the ball in traffic. I just didn't see a pile mover with this guy.
Sure.
I just didn't see the leg drive in order to get that kind of movement. I felt like that he kind of gets what he gets, and that's really it. I think he gives effort as a pass blocker, but this is not an area of strength for him. He'll step up, take on, but then kind of get tossed aside a little bit. There's snaps where he cut block and attempting to block his guy. And man, if you're a cut blocker, you have no confidence in your ability to pass block. So I really didn't like that. That didn't fit my eye very well. But you're right. He needs playing a one-cut system where he sees the hole and makes the read and it goes. You mentioned the Penn State game. That's exactly what he did. The hole, they did a great job. They got the linebacker out of position. They ran the ball up inside, and he did a great job of finishing the run. It doesn't appear that he's playing fast, but he's moving pretty well.
Sure.
And I will say that about him. The receiving skills are a plus. I just didn't think the pass blocking stuff wasn't. So Delaware, it sounds like I'm really killing the kid because of the level of competition that he plays at. I can't really do that. I just kind of feel like, to me, that there's these other backs. And when you mention other backs, I know you're going to have him up in the 4th round. Man, my 4th round linebacking group is probably all going to go in the 3rd round, to be honest with you. Those kinds of players. But I just couldn't put him. Your guy Krosky Merritt, Hunter from Auburn, and then our Rutgers kid. I kind of felt like all those guys, and we're going to get into a kid on Friday that I've already watched from Michigan that I kind of felt like I liked a little bit better than him, so I couldn't really put him above that. So I have him down there in the 6th, but I would not. Excuse me, I wouldn't be surprised. I personally think he's a more of a 4th round, but our 5th round, like you said, but I couldn't put him in that group. But my 4th round guys are pretty damn solid too, and I couldn't for surely put him in that group.
He probably should be a 5th round guy, but I just value
the catching the football.
I value pass catching, Brian. I value pass catching.
Yeah, this guy could very well be that pass catching back. There's a pass catching back I really like is
Georgia?
Smith from SMU and ATN from Georgia is another one. Yeah. Both those guys, I would take ATN and I would take Smith over our Delaware kid.
Do we continue this trend of that's a running back that I like? It just depends on where we take him. Like, do you at least like Yarns enough to take him somewhere?
Yeah. But I mean, I probably have him around low. these rounds are getting, and it's not just looking at him.
They bunched up in there. Yeah.
There's 8 guys in a round, and I'm like, it's a little bit easier to justify putting a kid in a round when it's 1 or 2 players.
Yeah.
When it's 8 of them, you're like going, and to me, it's not about balance the round. It's like these 8 players deserve to be in the round. I'm not just sticking them there. You know, I think it continues the trend. I could, like I say, we're going to look at Mullins from Michigan for our Friday show.
Yeah.
He kind of still in, and I know, God, who's the kid? Everybody wants us to watch this one kid.
Maffa from Clemson or something.
Oh, I'll think of it here in a second. Well, I mean, Ollie Gordon. I haven't even looked at Ollie Gordon.
We haven't gotten to him. Yeah, we just haven't gotten to him. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's a kid the Syracuse kid, the Syracuse running back.
I don't even know him.
Yeah,
we'll get to him though. We'll get to him. But
yeah, we'll get to him, sure. But I was like, it's just it is a pretty damn impressive group. Overall.
See, Brian, what's giving me a hard time is Devin Neal, right? Because you said something poignant, Brian. Is like these guys deserve.
It's Allen.
Okay, Allen. Okay, okay.
Yeah, LaQuinton Allen.
Yeah. We'll get to him.
State.
We'll get to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Penn State kids went back to school though, so we probably we ain't watching them. Both of them went back to school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's probably somebody else, but it's like Sanders and
LaQuinton Allen. No, LaQuinton Allen is the kid's name from Syracuse.
Oh, okay, Allen. Okay, cool. I got you.
Yeah. LaQuinton Allen is the kid's name.
Okay, we'll look him up. But like I was saying with Neal though, Brian, is you said some of these guys deserve to be taken in a certain round. I think Neal deserves.
I think I'm around low on some of these backs. I really do.
I think Neal deserves to be up there. Like in my high 4s maybe, but it's so many guys that's more athletic than him, or they do something better than him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like James, Blue, Hunter. Yeah. I'm like, damn, man, those dudes can run for real. And Neal's not he's not a run fast guy, but he's a damn good runner. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just so many guys you could just fit in that 3, 4, and 5 rounds, man. So it makes me feel good that if we don't get a running back early, there's some guys that I like later. I'm still trying to get running back out the way early though. But
I would somehow, some way try and make this thing in the top 3 rounds. And you know what? If you want to circle back, all the things that the Cowboys have done in their free agency and trading and stuff like that, I don't think they necessarily have helped the running back room. No. You know, if they signed Rico Dowdle back and then drafted one of these guys, now they're helping the running back room.
Yeah. Sanders not going to make the team. Sanders not going to make the team.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. No.
Let's talk about this Seth McLaughlin. Seth McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Brian, I put in my notes, and this may be mean or whatever, but I put more athletic Jared Wilson. That's what I put. So
Jason Kelsey. This kid's Jason Kelsey.
He's Jason Kelsey to you. All right. So when I say Jason Wilson, I'm talking about the center from Georgia there. And my whole thing about him is that he doesn't get movement, and I don't think he moves all that well. I think McLaughlin is a really good athlete. I think he's a really good mover. I still don't think he's power guy. I think he can work some combos and things. I still think he gets a little high, like some of these other damn offensive linemen and centers. But I at least think, depending on the offense now, I think he can start depending on the offense. If you asking him to move people, he's going to stalemate. Like, that's just his thing. But if we're going to be working sideways, if we're doing zone, if he's reaching to the next level, I think he's good with that. Reaching B-gap players, I think he's good with that. Pins and pulls and stuff, I think he's fine on the move. I think he's a solid down block guy because he understands the leverage of keeping guys on the other side of him, you know? I just personally like my guards and centers to be a little more powerful, to be able to kind of move guys a little bit. I don't think that's his game necessarily, but when he's comboing with Donovan, he looks really good, you know, comboing with, you know, big guys like that. So if you got big, strong guards, then maybe they can just kind of Voltron and work together in that way. But when he's single blocking versus one of these zeros that's really big and strong, I don't think that's his benefit there. But athletic, center mostly revolves around getting your guys lined up, IDs, IQ stuff. I think he's probably solid with that because he's been playing for a while. Seth McLaughlin, I think he's our first center that I got a little bit of faith in, Bryan Broaddus, but I do have him in the high fifths. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I tell you what, I have him in the fourth myself.
That's
is
right.
Where I've got it. And make sure I got that right. Yeah, I've got him actually in the fourth over Wilson from Georgia.
I got
is where I
too.
have
Yep.
is where I have him. And I said it. I think this guy's Jason Kelsey. He's 6'4", he's 304. He transferred from Alabama. So he's played on some good football teams. He's played in some big games too. And he goes to Ohio State and he plays some big games. He started 34 games at center in his career, but he suffered a torn Achilles during practice on November 19th. So he didn't get to play in those games, those meaningful playoff games and the run to the national championship game. I think he does a really good job of staying square on his block. I think he has a feel for how to take a guy solo. The double team stuff I think is really good. He's an aware player. Nothing gets by him. He's hard to fool when twists and fronts and stuff are moving. I think there's some stoutness to his game, and I think he can make blocks on all level. I think he could secure a down lineman, then move to the next one. When he's uncovered out on space, he finds his man. He gets that block. I like the way he plays in space. Same way Jason Kelsey, like Kelsey will pull and get out there and kind of stay on his feet. And, he's just not on the ground. And he's not likely to finish his man off, but he stays engaged long enough to allow the ball carrier to get past. And there are plenty of runs where you watch Henderson, Junkins, those guys, where they're making big runs. This guy's getting a block. And so I like the quickness. I like the balance. I like the core strength he has, the range. I don't think he has ideal length to keep defenders off his body, but his footwork really helps him here. I feel like he's a kind of a scheme fit for all the zones, the gaps, the things like that. I'm hopeful that this torn Achilles does not set him back. Because I think going forward, this guy's a pretty damn good football player. And I'm struggling to find some centers.
Yeah.
And I like where I'm at with this guy. Like I say, need to find out about that Achilles injury and see where he's at on his rehab with that.
Why does it seem like some of these media guys are like all in sync with having Jared Wilson ranked over him?
I don't know. Jared Wilson, to me, I like Jared Wilson, but not to the point. There's things about Jared Wilson that I don't always see sustained. I think he's got quickness. I think he's got upper body power. There's some pop in his hands. I just don't think he sustains well enough.
Sure.
I mean, he'll get his man 2 steps and then he's 2 steps and now he's in chase mode after that. I mean, the more he plays in space, the more trouble he has. And when a guy rushes him down the middle, boop, he's got all the power he can just to overpower that guy. Yeah. But there's snaps where you see him struggle with awareness. Like they'll run a twist game on him, and all of a sudden he gets lost on the play, and guys will run right by him. I think it might be just the lack of experience there. He's only been a 1-year starter. So, here's McLaughlin. He's played in games in Alabama, big-time player, big-time games. Jared Wilson, big-time games, but just not a lot of experience doing that. So I don't see him potentially as that starter right now. I think it's going to take him a little bit to kind of develop, but he's further along than what Cooper Beebe is. Cooper Beebe not playing center. Yeah. Well, this guy's played only 1 year at it. And, but I think McLaughlin, the games he's played, the athletic ability, the awareness, it's impressive. I think I saw something. I was looking at McLaughlin. He's got a graduate. He's already got like 2 degrees already. I mean, maybe he's too damn smart.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though, when Ohio State was really running that football, when he was in there, that guy was making some blocks. Him and Jackson and those guys, Simmons, they were coming off the ball, and you saw those guys humming.
If Cowboys draft him, do you think he's good enough to move BB to right guard or something?
I would if you draft him, every bit intention is to move BB.
I think he's a starter. I think he's a starter. Yeah.
Yeah, more so than Wilson. I think Wilson is going to be learning curve, more learning curve. I think McLaughlin's plug and play.
I wouldn't call him Jason Kelce, but I do think he can play.
He's Jason Kelce, man. You need to like open your damn eyes.
They open. You don't see him. You don't see him open. You
shades on. Put them shades on.
My goddamn shades. You lucky I ain't got him on this tape.
I was ready for you to pull out the saber. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. You think he's Jason Kelce. Watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, you thought I was going to be a huge fan of Kyle Williams.
I did, because Kyle Williams makes plays down the field.
What that mean, man? I like route runners and yak guys, man. What
I know,
mean?
I know you do. I know, but I thought for some reason you would like him a little bit. But
tell us about Kyle Williams and why you like him. He's my third guy in this list. But tell us why you like him, Brian.
I'll tell you what. Kyle Williams is. He is an interesting guy. He transferred from UNLV, and so at 5'11", 190, he kind of fits my eye for those really good wide receivers. You know, they're kind of that height.
Yeah.
I know we all get enamored with the really, really tall guys. So I mean, we're gonna get some tall guys here coming up. I think Nick Nash is one we got to do on Wednesday. From San Jose. It's a tall guy, but this guy does a really good job of Williams winning off the line of scrimmage. I think there's a quick twitch element to his game.
Sure.
I think with the ball in his hands, this guy be a dangerous type of a player. Screen pass, underneath pass, turns into like big chunk plays. I think he's got some elusiveness to him. I checked on some numbers just to see some special teams thing. He's kind of got like that vision that you would see from a punt and kickoff return guy, where you see traffic, you're weaving through it, he catches the ball on all levels. The zone coverage, the soft spots, making himself available, deep route runner. He could get going quickly and stack defenders running down the field. His speed doesn't always vary from route to route, and I think he knows how to run at the same speed while changing directions well. He didn't gear down when running, so I just didn't see much interest as a run blocker. Effort and technique make him kind of a liability there. Yeah. But, man, he had a monster. If you watch the Syracuse game in the bowl game, they played the Holiday Bowl, he broke Des Bryant's Holiday Bowl record. He had 10 receptions for a $172. Yeah. And so I was kind of thinking, wow, okay, that'll get it done right there. But I kind of feel like, let's say, catch the ball short, make some plays, deep threat, catch the ball, make some plays. And I just like the way that he kind of won off the line of scrimmage. And I like the way his size fit my eye to that level.
I think if he's going to work the field, Brian, I think it's going to be deep and medium. I think that's where he's really going to live it. I think if he goes to a team that's going to use a bunch of crossers and things like that, I think like that's right in his range. And, you know, I wondered, Brian, how much is he going to be a guy that's that depends on his offensive play call to get him open or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, sometimes he got himself open by way of the offense. And I thought that his offense made sure that he was open. So like he's running some weird, I'm in motion, I'm running my pivot and then I'm coming back. Or I'm gonna be the jet sweep double reverse guy. Or I'm gonna, hey, put me in motion on the other side and then I'm gonna run my 9. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he goes to an offense that's going to make him get open himself. I wonder will he be able to do it? I didn't really see him as a super nuanced route runner on his own, Brian. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I look for. You know, I look for how you use head fakes, how you work your hands, feet, and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like he was a run up and cut guy, but I thought that his athleticism got him open. You know what I'm saying? So like, what happens when your corners get more athletic? So just some things I thought about there, but Brian, you're not wrong. He definitely found a way to get behind defenses, and I think he had a good feel for tracking the football. And even when the DB was like close to him, he'll still find it and make his adjustments on the fly when he's looking back at it. So that's always a good sign. I had him in the 5th, Brian. I wonder if that was too low for him.
I think. Let me make sure I have him the same. I got him at the top of the fifth. I had him in the top fifth. I got him, and there's a kid we're going to look at on for
Tesla?
Friday. Tesla, yeah,
Okay.
the from Arkansas. Him, Horn, Wester. I've got him at the top of the fifth round. I was struggling. I was struggling to debate putting him in the fourth round.
Mhm.
You know, with
Yeah.
Bryant, Hudson, Higgins, those kinds of guys. Nash.
Yeah.
Oh, I know we're talking about Nash
Yeah.
coming up a little bit, but I was kind of trying to think about where to put him in that level.
See, Brian, for me, as far as my fourth round guys go, I think Hudson, Bryant, and I got Higgins up there. I think they're locked in, right? My conflict is Kyle Williams, Isaiah Bond, and Thornton from Colorado State. So those are my three guys.
Horton, right? Is it Horton? You said Thornton or Horton? Horton. I'm sorry. I thought you said Thornton for.
No, Horton.
Okay, go ahead. Horton. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So those are my three guys that I kind of got to get figured. Like they're all guys that can, play down the field. They all make they're kind of run past you guys. And that was my whole problem with, Bond. Like Bond was run past you guys, but like what else? I think Kyle does a little more than just run past you. I think he has a little more to his game. So maybe I got to put him ahead of Bond. I don't know, but I got Bond in the fourth. So I still got some figuring out to
Bond, do. Man, we started off with Bond months ago.
Yeah.
And he's done nothing but tumble down this board. So
yeah.
He's probably a lot better player than I'm thinking about, but right
That's
now,
good.
man, I mean, these wide receivers, I'm finding them like I like this guy a little bit better.
Yeah.
I like this guy a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's been a problem.
Hey man, can't just be run past you guy.
Yep.
But man, Brian, this Holland Pierce kid, man, he's an interesting character, ain't he?
Interesting, yeah, for sure.
He's a humongous fella.
Humongous is the understatement. Yeah,
this kid is huge, Brian, and I don't think he has the best feet in the world. I don't think he has the best technique in the world. I think his hand placement is weird. When he's in the run game, getting his head on the right side, I think that's strange. I think sometimes his feet get a little lazy and lumbery or whatever. But man, Brian, it's two things that bail this kid out.
Yeah,
I think arm length bails him out.
Absolutely, it does.
And the fact that he's absolutely humongous bails him out.
I think you hit both of them. I think you got them both right.
Brian, if you run down the middle of him, he's just hard to push. You know what I'm saying? Even when he's tall, right? Because he gets a little tall, he stands up.
Yeah.
He hard to push if you run down the middle of him.
Right.
If you work his outsides, you can outmaneuver him.
Yes.
But that arm length, it don't look pretty at all.
No,
it don't look pretty at all. But the arm length gives him the ability to recover.
Yep,
it gives him the ability to recover. Even in the run game, right? He'll get a little leany, but him being leany, like in a tactical lean kind of way. That's one of my words I used earlier, Brian. He's a tactical leaner. He knows how to be heavy in the run game, but I wouldn't put him in none of these stretch concepts where you got to move around really, get wide and all. I wouldn't do that.
No.
But length and being humongous kept him out of the extras for me, because that makes me feel like, and I don't know how often teams are going to do this, Brian, but maybe they'll say, man, lose some weight and we'll work on your feet maybe.
Yeah.
But I think that length and that size bail him out. But he wins his matches. He'll win his fights sometimes, Brian, because of those things. So, go ahead. Where you got it? I got him in the fifth.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. This guy at one time in his life was like 378 pounds.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's been as high as that. Yeah. But he's 341 pounds now. This guy was a former walk-on, so he's seen it all. A coach seeing
a humongous walk-on like that is crazy.
You got to be happy. He's played left tackle. He's played right tackle. You mentioned the length of the position. He plays in a 2-point stance the majority of his snaps. You mentioned about the kind of the leaning. I said, man, this guy will duck his head and headbutt the defender to slow him down, then work his hands and his feet in order to maintain positions. So he tries to butt you to stop you and then grab onto you. And I was surprised that rushers haven't tried to work his edges more. And you said that because he doesn't punch as strong as his body type would allow.
Right.
And there's a lot of hand fighting as a pass blocker. He stays connected better as a pass blocker, I think, than a run blocker. He'll come off the ball. He'll deliver one shot as a run blocker. Then the defender moves on and he's in chase mode. I think he could be really good down blocking, shielding an opponent. I honestly thought he would give up more pressures, but he really doesn't, despite the way he tends to lean coming out of his stance. He could have some trouble with NFL speed.
Yeah.
Now he plays in the Big Ten. He sees a lot of good edge rushers there, but I think he might have some trouble with NFL speed. I worry about rushers who will take him inside and he can't adjust quickly enough to cut them off. But his size will be a problem. Well, I'd say this way. His size is a problem for Big Ten players. We'll see how that translates. But if the kid's going from like 378 to 341, he's 6'8". I mean, there's probably something there that you want to kind of work with a developmental guy. Just impressive how big he is. And there was one time where a run broke. I think our little runner broke a run, and he was chasing the play straight on and, trying to get a block. And I was like going, damn, that's a big man moving pretty quickly there. So it's going to be, can he withstand the NFL speed rusher? I think that's going to be the biggest question about this kid.
Yeah. I agree, Brian. I agree. I have a soft spot for the kids that just figure it out and get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But maybe you can take those traits and you can turn those traits into something. There's a lot of
absolutely.
There's been tackles his size and that movement pattern before, and they lean on length. And it never looks pretty, but they get it done.
How big was a guy like Mekhi Becton, and they moved him inside, that kind of thing. And maybe he's going to have to play where. But if you're asking this guy to pull and play in space and be that guy, that ain't gonna work out for him very well.
Good day today, Bryan Broaddus, man. We came here and knocked this stuff on out, man. Pretty good analysis. I think, when we were in the 1 through 3 rounds, we were a lot closer on these guys. But boy, as soon as we got to round 4, it's starting to widen. And it makes sense because when day 3 of the draft gets here, we go, damn, why they draft this dude? Like, how did he get taken so early? Oh, they took a punter. Why they take a punter? I think day 3 is when opinions start to open up a little bit.
I would like to do a show when we get down to the end before the draft, when we have our board set of guys that you might feel you have around late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just pick 4 or 5 guys that, I know, the whole idea is to set your board and all that. And like, I told you earlier, I'm the big believer. And this is what, like a guy like Hairston from Kentucky.
Sure.
3rd round grade, Jeff Cab and I were talking about that this morning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, give me a guy that you really like that, you probably have low. Jeff goes, Hairston. I have him in the 3rd round. I go, I do too. He's likely. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 guys that and maybe it's not rounds, 2 to 3 or 3 to 2 or 4 to 3, but just some guys that will probably go earlier than what we have them on that board. I'm sure there's going to be 3 or 4 of those guys that are going to go. Like all of a sudden that, oh wow, he like Nealon. Nealon from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like Nealon might be a 4th round. He goes earlier than where he went.
I got 2 of them right now, Brian. I got 2 of them right now. Chase Lunt, the tackle from UConn.
Yeah.
I got him in the 3rd. I bet somebody likes him more
Picks him
than
in the 2nd. Yeah,
I bet somebody likes him more than Connerly or like Grant or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you very well be right. Yeah,
I bet
that's a good one.
And if I had to bet this Mills kid from Notre Dame, I got him in the 4th.
Yeah,
I can see him in the 3rd. I can see somebody take him in the 3rd. I can see.
Yeah,
I can see him.
I think there's some corners. Like I said, I think there's some corners that I probably have in the 4th round that are going to be 3rd round corners.
Some of these nickel guys. Some of these nickel guys probably. Yep. Riley, Huzzy, and Parrish probably go a little early. Yep.
Bingo. Yep. There you go. Yep.
We'll see, Bryan Broaddus. appreciate you, sir. Tomorrow, what we'll do, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do it like this. Voch says this. Put a question down in the comments, and I'll put out a tweet, and me and Brian will do some Q&A tomorrow, barring some important news. And if any important news happens, we'll do it Thursday. But give us some questions, and we'll answer those on tomorrow. And then we're going to get into our Wednesday assignment. Go ahead and write these names down for our Wednesday assignment. Y'all ready? We got 3 of them. We got Nick Nash, wide receiver from San Jose. Logan Brown, a tackle from Kansas. And all right. And Dorian Strong.
This is a good. These 3 are good.
These are good.
These are 3. This would be a fun list for us to. Yeah.
And we got okay. And we got Dorian Strong, cornerback from Virginia Tech. I'm gonna start watching those guys today. I'm gonna finish them up tomorrow, and I'm gonna be ready for to break those guys down on Wednesday. Y'all be sure to have y'all's breakdowns ready and your questions for tomorrow's show. And tell us today, was Brian wrong about Marcus Yarns? Was he wrong about Marcus Yarns? And do you think
or chime in whether Voch really knows what the running backs in the 4th, 5th round are supposed to look like?
I'm not wrong about these running backs, but if you think I'm wrong and you think that the Ohio State center is really Jason Kelce,
he's Jason Kelce.
Your ass had your blinders on when you said that one.
That kid's an athlete, man.
He's a good athlete. We love y'all to pieces, man. Brian's about to go do radio. I'm gonna take a nap or something till it's time to do Bleach Report. Y'all hold it down till next time. All right. Crown.